Been waiting on this all week.
Play that shit then, DJ.
Play that shit then, DJ.
Hold
Hey,
on.
yo, DJ, spin that shit.
Let me run my shit. Y'all, let me run my shit. Y'all niggas just sit back, enjoy the party, man. Enjoy the party.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never say
dude.
go and make a plan.
dude.
Knowing my mother getting old now, got no time. Gotta keep a couple yeah. To the hundreds,
Damn, I love Thursday. Man.
Yes, sir. Let me get right.
Go ahead, come on.
Tighten up.
Tighten up.
Business. We got a good one.
Tighten up.
Okay. Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalan, and this is nice and neat. It's going to be tough to come down from that intro. I know people love the intro.
The energy is
People
good.
love the energy.
Let the people know, because I see so often in our comments, they're asking about who the artist is, and we tag them every single time.
We tag them every single week. The artist of our intro, his name is Xaroc. It's spelled Xaroc, and the song is Pledge of Allegiance.
Don't ask us again.
Please
Seriously.
and thank you.
Seriously.
But to get into the topic for today, man, we have so many thought-provoking topics. We have so many topics that, we want our listeners, our viewers to just feel like a fly on the wall when we're speaking.
Absolutely.
But not only feel like a fly on the wall, feel like they can engage, So we'd like to have things throughout the week to where they can engage with the topics and just feel like that. We don't want it to be considered gospel. Whatever we say that's just not right or wrong. It's just, this is how we feel, and we want to open up the floor to be able to have a constructive dialogue, right? And I think today's topic is going to be another one of those constructive dialogues.
Well, shit, what is it?
You want to know what it is?
Talk
Shit,
to us.
man, what is it?
We talk back.
Okay, man. So today's topic, man, should men be dating if they're not financially stable? And that's tough. It's tough, to like even think about the thought like, man, I can't go out with a woman because I can't afford a dinner. So it's like, I feel like you got to see how much you could tap into your romantic side. You could tap into your resourceful side.
Creativity.
Create,
if you will.
right?
Damn.
Create. We are creators here.
Damn.
We are creators here.
How creative can you get?
How creative can you get? Oh, what are your thoughts on the topic, bro?
It's a good topic, that's for sure. It's a good topic, and I can only speak from experience. I mean, I know that's what we do a lot here. We speak from our standpoint, our perspective on life, and what we've been through. And when I think about my times of dating while I was broke, I can't help but think about the grind and glory days in college. I didn't really have a dollar to my name, and somehow, one way or another, I was able to make it work. Like, we didn't have much. We enjoyed the Chili's dates.
2 for $20 was
2
cracking.
for $20. We enjoyed the PF Chang's dates, and those are a little more pricier.
So you had it.
A little more pricier, right? So you saved a little extra more. I probably misused my financial aid check a few times. You know how it is. But I feel like there is a strategic way to make it happen if you don't have it. Every date doesn't need to be a 5-star dine-in dinner at this luxurious restaurant that's has all the rings and bells. It could be more thoughtful and, like we said, creative. Who do you know today is packing a lunch and having a picnic? I guarantee you're gonna be the only dude in the arsenal and her arsenal
For real.
that's doing that. You know what I'm saying? So there are creative. Now, obviously, you can't do that every night, right? So what I would say, it's tough, but I will say my stance on it is that you can make it happen. It doesn't. I don't believe that you have to have everything together to date a woman. I think that's immature to say. But if that's the case, there's a lot of people who wouldn't necessarily be in happily relationships right now, I think, in my opinion. But that's just where I stand. I don't know about these other guys. I guess we'll hear from them.
These other guys. Who are we?
I don't know about these other
know
guys,
these
but that's where I
guys.
stand.
These other guys.
Where you at with it, dude?
Man, so you're right, man. You can date and not be financially stable, right? It's possible, right? And you can get creative and you know, you may be with a woman who's okay with that and things like that. But just from experience, bro, I feel like dating requires so much just effort, you know, and it requires so much just attention. And I feel like the dating experience in general is just better when you are financially stable. So like, yeah, you can date when you're not financially stable and when you're going through struggles, but you really won't get for most of our standards, right? We want to have a woman, we want to be able to wine and dine her, we want to be able to take her on vacation, we want to be able to buy her nice things, right? We want to be able to do all these things, right? And for most of our women want these things, right? That's just for most of us. So when you're dating and you yourself are looking at Instagram and you're looking at the society's idea of dating successfully or having fun dating or all these things, right, on social media or just in general, or seeing successful people in your life, right? You're like, I want that, right? And your woman is like, I want that too, right? So a lot of times when you're not in that situation and your woman is not in the situation, she knows you're not in the situation, at some point it's going to cause friction, even if she doesn't say, that's what I want. You know what I mean? It's just going to happen. And then a lot of times you're going to have to make sacrifices of, damn, do I do this for my woman, right? Or do I really like spend my last couple of dollars for this on my woman?
Putting yourself in a real predicament.
Right? Or do I just say, nah, I'm not going to do it? And then your woman's going to be like, even though she technically understands logically, I ain't got it.
Yep. But does she really understand?
Technically she understands logically, I don't have it. But it doesn't matter sometimes. Sometimes it's just like, I know he don't got it, but someone else out there does.
Got it.
Someone else out there has it. And I'm a woman.
That was
you know what I mean?
Lemon juice in the
No,
cut.
that's real. That's real. It's like it sucks, but it's like, yo, as a
reality.
man, if you're dating and you're not financially stable, great. I'm not saying that's not great. I'm just saying, yo, if you're a man, it's better to be financially stable first, and then once you're financially stable and you don't have to pick and choose of whether, okay, I gotta focus on my job or focus on my woman. Your job, your career, all that shit's in line, and then like my woman is, I don't feel like I'm losing anything from giving her myself. It's a much easier process from my perspective, right? And you mentioned college, bro. We all know, bro, being broke in college is not the same as being broke as an adult.
In the real world.
Because everyone's
Right?
broke in college.
Being broke in college is fair game. Like, it's all the women I'm dealing with is broke. They're in college.
Yeah.
Right? They're not even exposed to the real world like that.
That's a
Because,
good point.
you know what I mean? So like, it's different, right? You and I have never been broke as adults. You feel me? And so like, I can't even speak to like that perspective, but I just know based on my perspective and what's happened, I can imagine it's really about having to choose. I have to choose my girl or going to make money. And that discussion right there is always going to be friction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely friction. What if both of you guys, what if you feel like not feel like, you know, you're not financially stable, right? But you feel like you met someone who may be the one. Do you sacrifice that potential by saying, hey, I got to let you go because I'm not financially stable?
That's a great question.
Or do you say, fuck it, I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to make it work with this person because I feel like this is the one. And I'm going to go through the dark days of being broke.
You know what? Everybody says,
Because you only, just to be clear, you only get the one time.
Yeah, you only get the one time.
Just throwing that out there.
And everybody says behind every great man is a strong woman, right? But like becoming that great man takes a road. And sometimes I legitimately in my heart feel like, and I'm not saying that I operate like this, but I think that some people need that kick in the ass of that great woman to begin the elevation within their life.
I feel that.
So like, it's
feel
like,
that.
okay, I got this woman in front of me. And you know, and you two can speak to this, because I know I feel this way. When you have a good woman in your life and you're like, I want to give her the best life possible. And that's just not like a financial thing. I just want her.
I want to give her everything.
I want to give her everything I can possibly give her. I want to give her the romance. I want to give her the spontaneity. I want to give her the intimacy. I want her to let her into me. You know,
into me.
into me.
That's season 1,
Right?
Is that season 1 or season 2?
I think that's season 2.
Season
I think it's
two,
season 2. Right? You want to give a woman everything, and I believe a good woman can literally be the catalyst to that, to creating that man to be, okay, this is how I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go get it. I know we've had personal conversations outside of the show, personal conversations on just the way that your women have motivated you to where it's like, okay, it's time for me to go get it now. Like my focus is locked in. I'm not looking at 5 and 6 different women. I'm looking at this one woman, and now my vision is actually clearer. So I can focus on this one woman now. And like initially when you start dating her, like when you started dating Candace, let's eliminate the NFL. You were trying to make $100 a day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
God, I remember that.
You were trying to make $100 a day. You know, Duke, when you started dating Chanel, you were chasing a fashion career in New York. And you weren't the, I would say, the influencer that you are today, as far as like that constant roll in of financials. Like, granted, you had your background within the NFL, but having those women in your life, I think I can say just from outside looking in, because I think my picture is just a little bit clearer than you guys is by being in it. Those women motivated y'all.
Right.
Absolutely.
Those women motivated y'all to be better. And I feel like we would literally be taking away from the greatness of women if we say we could only date them when we were financially ready.
And we never see what they can actually do for someone who needs that, who's not in that financial freedom place, that like we would like deprive them of having the opportunity to kickstart a man's life, basically.
Right.
So it's safe to say that if you feel like you found the one and you're not financially stable, you should continue to date her.
I think so.
Yeah.
If that's what we're saying.
Listen,
if we're saying that,
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy though.
Yo,
we're not saying that's another conversation.
Yeah.
And we could dive
and
into that as
I'm
well.
also not saying it's black and white, right? But what I'm saying is, think about all the things you want to give to a woman, right? Think about all those things you want to give to a woman. You're gonna constantly be fighting with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, we understand like what women want, and we want to get. Okay, so put it like this. A lot of times you always hear guys complaining about, man, having a woman is expensive, right? Or like, my woman want this, or I gotta do this, I gotta take her to dinner, blah 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 blah, right? But if you make it money, niggas that make money like that don't complain.
You're never saying that. You're never saying that.
You really don't have that discussion. It's just like, yeah, my woman want it. All right, cool, right? That's my woman.
Yep.
Every nigga wants to be at that position.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Nobody wants to be contemplating and compromising with themselves about what they want to do for their woman. Every man wants to be in a place. Every man. Why? Because naturally, I don't care how much progress we've had as a society. Last episode, I talked about the evolution of women, how women today are go-getters. Besides all that, those are all facts. But besides all that, men still want to be. I want to give you the best life I could give you. Right? And a lot of times, if you're not financially in the place you want to be in, it's going to be harder to give your woman that. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that you're right about, like, you can date in different financial situations, but in a perfect world, I want to have my bread right and then my woman right. Right? And for me, right? Because I don't want my woman. Yes, I don't want to deprive my woman of being the excellent woman she is and bigging me up and propelling me to success, right? But in a perfect world, I don't want my woman to have to do that. I want to come equipped for her,
right?
In a perfect world.
Absolutely.
So I mean, we're talking about dating, right? So if you're
That's true.
If you're
That's true.
you're dating a woman, right? And you know how you said, if I'm dating her, you know, I'm not worried about affording dinners. Like I'm not worried about affording the finer things
That's true.
that, you know, I may want to give to this woman, right? But like, let's look at it from the other side. You have money, you're dating women. How many women do you know are really dealing with you because of you and not because of what you possess and not the luxuries that you're allowing them to experience, you know, as far as
Most of them
dinners, right? So if you broke and you chilling with a chick and she's chilling with you and she's rocking with you, you're not questioning like, she with me because of what I possess.
Yeah.
You know, and when we're talking about broke, I want to remind our listeners and our viewers, we're just simply talking about financial.
Right.
Because
Not
broke,
happiness. Could you be
Right.
broke and
Yeah,
happy?
yeah.
straight up, right? And broke is a mindset,
Absolutely.
right? Broke is a mindset. Unlike my brothers here, you know, they had the luxuries of working very hard in their teenage years, which allowed them to make it to the NFL, right? Me, I had to go to school and then figure it out post school. So I've had days where my bank account was negative $756. Why do I remember that number?
Oh, you'll never forget it.
It was a real number.
Yep.
Right? And I was still dating in the process, and I never had a problem dating the woman that I wanted to date because I've always felt like broke is a mindset. I've never was like, oh, I am worth negative $756.
Right.
You know, it was like, no, this is where we at today. You know, I'm working through some things.
Yep.
And we're gonna get there. And it never was like, it never was a self-esteem thing. It never was like the way I felt about myself. And I think that right there, though, is the conversation.
Yeah.
I want to say though, like you were talking about, what if you do have it, you know, and how do you know if that person is truly there for you? That's basically what you were asking, right? I think that's when it's important for, if you are in a position where you are financially stable, to have broke-like tendencies, right? You don't need to do the fine whining and dining every time, right? You could do the more you could take the more creative and broke route, you know what I'm saying, to really see if the chick is really rocking with you. You know what I'm saying? Everything doesn't have to be top of the line, upper echelon, right? You could take a shorty on a hike, you know what I'm saying, and really enjoy outdoors together. That costs you nothing.
You better have a mouthpiece.
Well, that's a whole nother
Well,
topic.
first of all, I'd much rather be the financially stable guy and dictating and
Your
having
terms.
having
For
to
sure. Yeah.
and having to
Absolutely.
decipher
Definitely.
who's for me
Absolutely.
than being a broke guy and be like, oh, they all love me because I am.
No,
they can't be using me for my money.
Definitely. That's it. That's
You know what I mean?
if you could have everything, you're gonna take everything rather than like, give me the rough road. Like,
Yo.
I want to take the stairs. Nah, if you got
Right.
an opportunity to take the elevator and get to the same destination,
Yeah.
Of course, but you're always going to reflect and say, yeah, I would have took the stairs.
right.
Hey, and,
Of course.
and here's another thing though, right? Because when we talk about should you be dating if you're not financially stable, right? We can't ignore, you know, as a man and just our innate, you know, will to want to provide and just be successful for ourselves, right? If we feel like we can't do that, there will be some kind of resentment with whoever we're dating. You know what I mean? And when I talk about the constant decision to have to pour into your, you know, dating life or pour into your career or pour into, you know, your professional life, right? That's a real thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like this or that. Because if you're not financially stable, that's always on your mind. Yo, I need to make some money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if I'm already have the urgency where I need to make money, I'm like, I can't fuck with you right now.
Can't even give yourself to your woman.
Right? I can't fuck with you right now. Or I can't date you. I can't go to dinner. I can't go to the thing you're inviting me. I can't go on a trip with your friends. I can't do any of that. Right? So what's going to happen to her? It's going to be like, damn, man, my nigga can't do shit.
Yeah.
Right? So the conflict is just more likely in this regard, right? The conflict is just more likely to be there when you aren't financially stable because there's more reasons you can't do things. You know what I mean? And I think that for me, it's just like I've heard there's a quote, and you guys have heard it. It's like you'll never lose women chasing money, right? But you'll lose money chasing women.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I know that's a little facetious, but there is a lot of validity
No, it's
there.
real.
You know, there's a lot of validity there because it's like, yo, if I am chasing my successful career, you know, I can in the future dictate what type of women I want to be around, what I want to do for women, right? How to be intentional on, and I could set like the tone with what women I deal with. But without that, and there are like smooth cats and people with a ton of character and a personality that aren't financially stable that could, do all those things. I'm not saying that, but just to generalize, for a lot of us, it's just like, yo, if we are financially stable, we feel like we're more equipped to do those things.
The pool gets a little larger too.
For sure.
The pool gets a little larger who you can select from and who's interested in you.
Yeah.
Although that may not be
it could be a bad thing.
It
right?
could be a bad thing. It could be a bad thing, but that's what definitely happens.
So I'm gonna ask you guys, right? And we're speaking to if a man doesn't necessarily have it.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't necessarily have it, do you think that he should tell the woman, or do you think it's something like he should just kind of like he should work through? But he's also while working through, he's like, I can't make that. And, I kind of feel like lying comes into play. I can't make that. I got to do this.
Nah, I think you be honest, but there's some things that you have to omit.
Yeah, for sure. You don't have to tell her like
you don't have to give her your whole situation.
Yeah.
It's some things that are personal and close to you that everyone doesn't need to know everyone's struggles in here.
Right.
To understand that person is going through some shit.
Everybody going through something.
Everybody going through something.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this information to myself. You know what I'm saying, and do what I can.
Yeah, I don't think you should tell her what your struggles are, but I think what takes care of that is making her know exactly what's important to you.
Yeah.
Right. So if let's just say I'm a football player, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, hey, like, do you want to go to dinner tomorrow? Or you want to go see a movie tonight? Or hey, can you come over? And every time she said, hey, yo, I gotta go work out in the morning. I got like team workouts, so I can't even be. I have to be in bed by this time. I have team workouts. It don't matter if I'm struggling or not, but this is the priority. So that takes before we even get to the struggling. It's like, yo, I want to let you know I'm serious about this. I'm ambitious about this.
That actually takes me back to season 1, and I forget what the title of the episode was, but one thing that was really important in that episode, I think it was like 5 keys to getting the woman you want, right? And it was like one of the keys to getting the woman you want. The woman that you want was let her get a sense of your ambition. And that's kind of like what you do right there in that situation. It's like, yo, let me let her know exactly how ambitious I am and how much I really want this. Let her know what my intentions are, what my purpose is, what I think my purpose is going to be.
And then whatever comes from that, right? Because if she's like, man, he don't do nothing, he must be broke. All right, well,
so be it.
Then that's that. Then that's that. But as long as you let her know that, hey, these are these are the things that I'm really putting on a pedestal, and these are my non-negotiables. So when you do that, it doesn't even matter what's your financial status. You could be broke, rich. It will never get to the point where she's questioning, like,
because no matter what, you operate within the confines of that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, you gotta be. If you're that person, it's all good. Then you could date however, whenever, any financial status, right? But if you're a person like most of us, it's like, man, I kind of do want to date women. I kind of do want to go out, right? I kind of do want to enjoy myself, right? I kind of do want to go have a couple of drinks with my boys and, her friends, you know what I mean?
And pay for it.
And pay for it. Then those things become things that you have to think about, and if every time something like that comes, you're having a battle with yourself in your mind about like, man, I really shouldn't do this. Man, I went out last night, man, that shit hurt my pockets. Like, I don't think that's conducive to like a successful man.
Nah, you're in the wrong space.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong space. You need to relocate.
I agree with you,
and that's
man.
what I'm trying to say.
relocate,
That
for
I
sure.
don't think that's a conducive. A successful man, most like everyone's blueprint is different, but I feel like the a pretty general blueprint is like, like sacrifice, right? But I don't want to have to keep like denying you and sacrificing you. I'd rather just like, let me just laser beam on this, and then when I get this, I'm good.
I'll come back if you're available.
Yeah, that's
I'll
how.
double back if you're available.
And I'm speaking from experience, and I understand everyone's different. But in a perfect world, that's how I think men should operate. We would save ourselves so much drama. We would save ourselves so much confusion and the whole like, oh, why do they want to pay? Why do they want me to pay for this? Why do they want to pay for this? Because once you got it, you understand like, I want to pay for this. You know what I mean? Once you have it, it's just like, yo, my girl didn't ask for first class, but I want to give it to her.
I want to give it to her.
Because like,
I want my girl to be taking photos on the plane, talking about, look how we
my girl had a best.
I want that.
Yeah.
So like once
That made me proud.
and that's what I mean by, I feel like, that because that's what makes dating fun.
Yes.
That's what makes.
That's what makes,
dating
to me,
Yeah.
that makes
Right.
dating fun. It's like, yo, like, hey, yo, I just booked a hotel in Mexico. Do you want to go?
You want to pull up?
And I'm not even talking about somebody that's your girlfriend. I'm talking about somebody you dated and you want
Right.
to go. And she's like, hell yeah, I want
Hell
to go.
yeah, I wanna go.
It's fun. This shit's fun.
That's real.
But you never get that if you're not financially stable.
And you know what? So I think it is a time, right? Two separate times. It's a time where you got to build and like build you up. And then it's a time where you could build with somebody else. And in order to build with somebody else, you have to be full first. I'm not saying you are at your financial cap per se, but you're doing well enough to take care of you, go out on a date a week, and move from there. I'm not saying you making enough money to take her to Greece for a week. I'm not saying that. You don't got to do that. But if your girl's just like, babe, I had a long day, you should be able to financially do something to make her feel a little bit better, whether that's going out to dinner, grabbing a drink, or just doing something like that. But sometimes those finances actually, I don't want to put a number on it because we live in LA, so it's different. Somebody might live in Texas and their taxes is a little bit different and their gas rates. We pay $4 for gas out here, right? So it's a little bit different. But I think you should always have enough money as a single man to go on at least one date a week.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think it was a couple months ago, I did a video on the Nice and Neat page that gave 3 tips on how to like plan a successful staycation. That might be something that people want to tap into and really, because that's another creative way to really do your thing. Without
Yeah, we got to repost that.
Yeah, no doubt. On that note, what's the deal, y'all? Welcome
He blew
back.
the whistle on himself.
On
That's the
myself.
first time ever.
What's the deal, y'all? Welcome back to the Nice and Neat halftime show. I'm your host, Omar, and we've gotten to the favorite part of my show, which is them the rules, man. Duke, what do we have today, fam? You always got something spicy. What do we have today?
Okay. So, dim the rules. We got one for y'all fellas. Check this out. All right. A man and a woman live together. All right.
Okay.
He makes $50,000 a year.
Okay.
She makes $150 a year. All right. We love hypotheticals. All right. In this particular hypothetical, do you, although there's a big gap in salary,
Huge.
do you still split bills 50-50 with your girl, even though she makes $100,000 more than you? And it's not like, hold on, okay, it's not like you make $250 and she makes $400.
No,
Right, that's different.
No.
If you make $50 and she makes $150, that's like a realistic number for people.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a word, but you scrounging.
You scrounging,
You scrounging.
Well,
right? Do you split bills 50-50?
what's crazy is the number is it's such a big difference, right?
Big disparity.
Huge disparity between $150 and 50. However, you're still both in the same tax bracket. Right?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I know it may be, the number may be significant, but like the taxes are the same, right? So from that standpoint, I think once you pass a different tax bracket, it may change a little bit. But from this standpoint, I feel like you just got to catch the short end of the stick and you got to split it.
Yeah.
You got to split
You
it.
got to split it. You don't really have an option. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what men do. This is what men do. Men foot the bill, fam.
Wait.
Are you footing the bill?
Wait, hold on.
Well, that's not what I mean. I don't mean literally. just
Because
take
that
the whole
don't
thing.
count. That don't count as footing the bill.
Footing the bill is the whole thing.
Nah, you
Footing
need
the bill.
that.
Okay, but what I'm saying is a man is supposed to foot the bill, right?
Right.
Supposed to, right? So from that standpoint, when you're both in the same tax bracket, regardless of what the difference is in the amount of income, I still got to hold and pull my part. That's how I feel
As a man.
as a man.
Listen.
As
no
a
ma-
man.
I don't care how much money I'm making. If I'm going to pay for anything, it's going to be them bills.
It's gonna be them
gonna be them
bills, fam.
bills.
I ain't going to go nowhere. I ain't going to do nothing.
I ain't gonna be fresh.
Yeah.
But
Nah.
this house shit, my money going to that.
To
You know what I'm
that.
saying? We can
To how
split
we
it.
live.
If in that case, if 50,000, 100,000, 150, we could definitely split it. But there's never going to be a situation, no matter how much money I'm making, that I'm not going to be putting my income towards the place that we're living.
Yeah. The extra shit, I may not be able to do.
Yeah. I'm a pass on everything else.
Straight up.
I ain't gonna have no gym membership, maybe.
Fuck.
You know, but
Home workouts.
the home stuff, the money I'm making is gonna be going to the home, and she could do whatever she want with it.
You know what? To even keep it a bug with you, 50,000, like it's tight. But if you have a household, one
For
person's
sure.
making 50,000, one person making 150.
Y'all can make it work.
Truth be
sure.
told, with that 50,000, if you really was like
Tight with your money.
tight with your money, you could be like, I'm gonna pay for the rent or the mortgage
For the
whatever.
year. For the year.
For the year.
That's it.
That's my That's our real contribution. So if we go on vacations and stuff, like that's a luxury. So it's
Yeah.
like that's kind of what you could take care of. Because I take care of the house day in and day out.
That's a great point, bro.
I take care of the house day in, day out, right? And just like me, from my school of thought, I personally feel like I can take care of the bills and keep a roof over our head, and you just make this house into a home.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever comes with that. So like, you know, if we got cable, like I'll let my girl pay that. You know, we got, you know, power bill, like you can pay that. But like when it comes to like the bulk, 50,000, you can take care of it. 50,000, you can take care of the bulk.
You pretty much take care of a mortgage with $50,000.
Yeah, I don't care how much. I don't care about girls making more money.
Yeah,
than me. Like,
you can take care of that.
Whatever I'm making is going towards that.
Yeah.
And I just got to sacrifice everything else.
And technically, I'm taking care of you, right? Technically.
For sure. Because
take care of us.
Look,
I'm
I'm
taking
taking
care of us. I'm not taking care of you. I'm taking care of us. Okay.
I'm doing my job.
Okay.
Technically, I'm doing my job.
A woman's, we'll either call it mom or dad, gonna be like, you know, is he taking care of you? And when people say that question, the first thing they think
you
about
have
is
to pay for your
Are
living?
they paying the bills?
Are they
You have to
paying
pay
for
for
your
your living
living
regimen.
expenses? Are they paying for a roof over your head? And you sit back and she sits back and she think about that and she be like, nah, he take care of that.
Take care of that.
That 50,000 look like 200 to her.
Wow. That's real. But you can't be out here tricking it off.
No. You better stay focused, laser sharp, okay?
Cannot get outside the lines.
Don't get outside the lines at all. Nah. So I think when it comes to 50,000 and 150, I think the man could be just fine doing that. I also think that he should do everything in his power to not be comfortable in that 50,000.
I also think he should do everything within his power to make more than 50,000.
For sure.
And here's the thing, though,
For sure.
and that's what I'm talking about in the episode is I don't want to be in a position where I gotta pay for only like my living arrangement, but not be able to also pay for my travel arrangement, you know, and put my girl in a predicament where people gotta look at her like, yo, you actually doing that? Even though it shouldn't matter, it is what it is. The rules is pay for that shit.
What are they paying for?
Living arrangement.
At least 50-50.
At
is
50, at least 50. Like
Got
that's
you.
the bare
At
minimum.
least bare minimum.
You can never. What I'm
Give 'em the
saying.
rules.
What I'm saying
Yeah.
is you can never pay anything less than 50-50. And if you definitely making significantly more than your woman, just pay the whole shit.
foot the bill.
Just foot the bill,
Them the rules.
and then the rules.
Yeah.
With that said, man, we're going to get into the second half of the episode. The only way we know how, that's with some positive energy, some positive vibrations, and a smile, of course. Second half, let's go. Let's kick it back to you
Hey,
because
two-
I know you had something you wanted to
two
get
things.
off.
Just
This is stemming from halftime.
Yeah.
it just took me back to an old episode that we had. It's paying for, it's footing the bill, right, or paying the whole bill or whatever. Is that misogynistic?
Like, are we taking away power from women by doing that?
Is that technically
It's
misogyny?
It's chivalry, bro. It's chivalry.
Is that the old episode that you was thinking about?
That's the one I was talking about. Is that misogyny? Saying like, yo, like you can't handle this bill?
Hey, I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying this is what I need to do.
Okay, we talked about
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that she can't contribute. I'm just saying this is what I'm gonna do for these bills.
Chivalry.
It's chivalry. That's
Okay.
all I'm saying. I'm not
Okay.
saying that she cannot. I'm just saying that this is what I am supposed to do in this relationship.
Okay. You understand what I'm saying?
That see what you guys are saying now. It actually leads me into.
Well, bring us.
It leads me into what I was just thinking about. Like
Take
it's
us around
kind of
yonder.
just crazy that it lines up like this, right? So, Cardi B has a song, right, and one of the most popular parts of the songs says, "Broke."
Niggas don't deserve no pussy.
Broke.
That's right.
Ends.
Broke niggas
Don't
don't
deserve no
deserve no pussy.
I know that's right.
I know that's right.
Right, and this part of the song, it says broke niggas don't deserve pussy,
that's
and
right.
then it's a not she says it. It's a cumulative
echo.
It's an echo of
like
women,
all
like
women,
all women
women around the world.
I know that's right.
Yep.
Right. So it's like that's like the reinforcement right there. Like
this how all
this
all
ain't
of us
just me
feel.
thinking this. This is how all women feel, right? I'm gonna ask you guys, what are your sentiments to that? Do broke niggas not deserve pussy?
Okay, I know it's just a song, right? And because people will say, "Oh, it's just a song. It's just a form of entertainment," but songs are representations of how people feel, right? And usually how a community feels, right? So
That's what the echo was.
that's what the echo was, right? So broke boys don't deserve no pussy, right? And we're not thinking too deep into it. We're thinking just right, all right? It insinuates that you have to pay for this.
Oof.
And it gives it a price, right? And certain things, when we think about, and I may be wrong, I don't know everything, but when we think about certain things, we think, this shit is priceless, and money can't buy it, right? You have to be a unique individual or something about you that someone likes to. And that's the exchange. But money can't buy it, because once you start attaching a price tag to it, then it becomes something that you could buy. And if it's something that you could buy, it's something that anybody else could purchase. You know what I'm saying? And I think that kind of sends just the wrong message. You feel me? And then also it sends a message that, when you get men that meet women and that have no time for their women and are just all ambitious and focused on their job, it's because of things like that, right? It's because of those reinforcements, or when you think when you get the rich athletes and the rich actors and they're treating all types of women like shit, is because things like that. It's like you said, like, basically the niggas with money could do whatever they want, right? So if
That's the fair exchange.
that's like the parallel, right? The niggas with money could do whatever they want. If you got money, you could do whatever you want. So now people with money, right? A lot of times, the stereotype is they have bad attitudes, they don't know how to act, they're self-centered, and it's because it's true. People feel like that. It's like, I got money, I can do whatever I want. I don't have to treat you with respect because you said that all they have to do is have money.
Right.
So now I got money. Give me that shit.
What's that shit?
that shit.
So that okay. You know what? Since let's keep going.
Am I taking it too deep?
No. So check
you're right
this
on
out,
point.
right? I know
Okay.
one thing about us. We like to talk about being fair.
All the time.
We like to
sure.
talk about being
For
fair.
sure,
Like,
for
I know
sure.
this is something that's real big in Duke's world for sure. It's just being fair. Any hint of misogyny he tries to run away from, for sure. So with that being said, should men with a little bit of money date broke women? Does that matter? Is that a thing? Is there a difference?
Let's be clear. Men have never, ever, ever been concerned with how much the woman is making.
Come on now.
Now, if the woman is making money, she's doing her thing, she's got her own business, she's thriving, amen. Thank God. That's incredible, right? But I've never once seen a fine woman behind the register at the 99-cent store and been like, I can't date you because you work here at the 99-cent store. You don't have no money. No, I'm looking at her like, I could change her life. I could change. Oh,
Facts.
yo. Niggas gonna be like, where you find her at? Nigga, 99-cent store.
99-cent
Hey,
store.
and
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 like,
I
you
found
think
a
it's
gym.
her?
I found
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Yep. I turned her
What
up.
did she do? She works at McDonald's, bro.
Shit, to be honest, man, I'm getting things right so she can get her own business going.
Wow.
That's more of the conversation.
But even because that's
It's-
higher
it's a
level.
lot of examples
That's
of that,
higher
too.
level, right? That's
Absolutely.
That's
Amber
higher
Rose.
level, right? I'm getting her going so she can get her own. That's higher level, right? Before we even get to that point, it's still like, yo, I just think she's cute, bro.
Straight up, I'm just attracted to her.
I just think she's cute. I don't care what she does, because like I'm not looking for her to do anything for my
I'm
life
not gonna
financially.
provide for me.
Yeah. So and then also, I think that when we talk to our friends about the women we're dating, it's just about like, yo, like what kind of person is she? Besides, like, what does she do? Right? There's no, I don't feel ashamed for the woman I'm dating not having a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right. For women, it's a little different. Like a woman would probably be a little ashamed to bring the man she's dating that works at, Kmart or Target or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Even though he could be a hardworking man.
No, for
he
sure.
He could be a respectful man. He could have amazing character. He could be a trustworthy man. He could be a loyal man, but he's, he's not a provider at this point, So there's a lot more reluctancy to talk about the man that I'm interested in or the man that I met, you know what I mean? And then when I bring this to my friends, they're gonna be like, yeah, girl, but like, homie over here, he got that bag.
Yeah.
So like,
there's just a clear difference between men and women. There's a study that I think Stanford did back like in the 70s, and they had like picture like an interrogation room where there's like that mirror glass, where you could see in but they can't see out, and they had women all in this interrogation room sitting on the inside, and they had all these men on the outside of the glass, right? And they were all wearing McDonald's uniforms, Walmart uniforms. Just name all the basic
a suit.
Not even a suit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not even a suit. 9 to 5 jobs.
Got it.
Right? And they asked these women, which one of these men would you date?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Wouldn't date any of them. Right? The same men come back dressed up in suits, looking like businessmen. And it's like, which men do you want? Now the women are trying to take their pick of the litter, right? Now you flip the situation and you throw 5 women in there in these.
We looking at looks.
That's it. Solely. I'm shorty is bad right here in the middle.
Yeah,
I'm
we
trying
can
to
see
holler
looks. We can
see looks because that's what matters to us. But to them, it's always about security and like how can we provide for them.
But again, that's fair though.
And absolutely.
That's also fair, right? And I understand because that's the times we come from, right? So we can't ask women to just ignore that because sometimes it works in our favor.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, I'll open up the floor to this. What if somebody said like, so I seen a meme earlier this week. The meme said people ask you what you do so they can go ahead and put their own price on you, right? So what if somebody said that's why it opens up the floor for men to lie, because women are going to value what you might tell them rather than kind of like what's happening, what's actually really happening. They more so value what they could kind of see what's in their face. So like O said, these same guys were wearing McDonald's outfits and then they put on suits.
Yeah.
Right? When it was suits, now it's like, oh, okay. Now let me see. Okay, he got a nice suit. He got this. He looks like this. Now you can actually kind of like get into the actual, you starting to like now kind of dissect the person a little bit more on a positive angle rather than a negative angle. Do you feel like when it comes to women, that's acceptable to be able to just base who she's gonna date off of what a guy does, rather than sitting down, getting to know him, talking?
Is it acceptable?
Is it acceptable?
Listen, I think it's acceptable, right? I think it's acceptable just because it's just what it is. It's just how it is. It's been like that forever.
It's a gender role.
And there's just other things.
It's a gender role.
It's just a gender role, right? It's acceptable and part of so a lot of guys, right? You hear a lot of commentary about like, man, women are gold diggers, XYZ, something along those lines, right? Something along those lines of women, wanting a more successful man, right? That's just the land. That's just how it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once you accept that and stop trying to change how things are,
The law of the land.
you're gonna be.
law of the land?
It's just the law of the land. Yo, once you would just accept it is what it is, you're gonna be happy. Just take that information and work with that information, right? It's like us. That's like women trying to change what's innate in us, or just our laws, right? They're gonna be stressed out trying to change us, right? Just hey, we don't care about a lot of shit. Just take that.
It's like a woman saying, I just wear a sweatsuit every day. He should like me for me.
Yeah,
No.
Nah, I want to see something.
like you know what I mean.
See that.
Let me see that.
Let me see that.
Right? So like,
Facts.
so my girl wants a Chanel bag.
Chanel want a Chanel?
Chanel wants a Chanel,
Ooh-wee.
right? My girl wants a Chanel bag. She always talks. She always jokes or seriously or jokes. She always,
Hey, dude.
right?
You got it.
So she always says, "Yo, like I want a Chanel bag, babe," and I'm like, "I hear you, babe, right now it's just not the best time to just drop 5 bands plus on the bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I hear you.
But I want to give you what you
But
want.
I also don't think you're crazy for wanting that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
A lot of guys be like, yo, women just want bags and nice bags and just want to spend money. Yo, it is what it is, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it. It is what it is. Stop trying to change women.
Yeah.
Stop trying to change what it is, bro. So I'm like, yo, I hear you. And I'm going to get you one when the time right. I'm going to get you one. I'm not going to look at her or look at any woman and say, oh, like, she's crazy for one of that. I mean, it is what it is. Even though, like, I would never do that. And there's certain things I'd be like, yo, that's crazy to me. But I understand for you, you're socialized different.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. I get that part. And I think when we stop trying to change women and stop trying to expect women to live the same way we live or not care about certain things we don't care about or have the standards we have, then we'll be much more, things will be more clear for us, and just we'll be happier.
Yep.
From a financial perspective, I think it's really important. I'm not saying necessarily have finance. It's something me and we talk about pretty often. I think that it's important to have good credit because you should always have a little bit of some sort of wiggle room for a rainy day, right? Because let's say like your girl's mom lives in another state. Mm-hmm. Your rainy day should be able to, if something happens to her mom, y'all could get up in the morning and y'all could both get out there on your dime.
Not just her. Y'all.
Because y'all trying to move together on your dime. You should be able to do that. One thing me and O talk about all the time is spending a lot of your money off of your credit card. You should be able to put that credit card in effect. You can't necessarily get a credit card with a high limit if you don't got good credit. So like being able to focus on your credit, I mean, of course your finances for sure, but being able to focus on that credit will allow for those rainy day finances because I think it's really important to be able to create some sort of spontaneity in your girl life. And a lot of spontaneity comes with finances. Sometimes you may have a group of friends that's taking a trip and she's like, oh, babe, I want to go on this trip. And like, you can't tell her no every single time.
Nah.
If something happens in the family, you want to be able to get there.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you got to have the liquid all the time, but you got to have the access.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you don't have the liquid, the credit could attribute for that.
For sure.
So like, I think that is something that's really important. I know for sure put me on game when it came to that. Like we hear how important credit is.
Just using credit card all the time?
Yeah.
Okay, we lived together for how many years?
3.
3 years? 3 years. Those are conversations we used to have on a daily.
Hey,
you using your credit card? Only. Okay. And now this is another topic for another episode, right? Learning how to educate yourself through financial literacy and learning how to use and operate a credit card. But if you have the cash or somewhat of the cash and you're able to constantly, continually pay that credit card off, like it's not a bad move to use that credit card.
No.
And like you just said, it provides you those opportunities when you may not necessarily have it all the time, but you can still use your credit card, still get it done, make your woman happy, and still do the things you want to do.
Still do the things you want to do.
Yeah.
And then be able to pay that off incrementally.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the successful people in the world use credit. They operate off of credit. So if they're doing that, it's the blueprint. We should all be operating off of credit. Yeah. And that's another topic for another episode. But
yeah. So, what impact does social media have on like the standard, like the financial standard of men and women?
I think it has a bad one because social media kind of shows like how everyone is spending, not how everyone is saving. Social media is such a highlight to show what I got. I got the latest. So I think in a way,
like it sets like unrealistic financial expectations.
For sure.
For sure. And in a way, it kind of steers a lot of people in the wrong direction.
Yeah, definitely.
It kind of influences them to make poor decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Like, we're a sports show. This is probably our first track reference.
We're a sports show?
I mean, we were. Excuse me. I
sports
apologize.
Background, yeah.
We have a sports background. We refer to sports a lot.
Absolutely.
Right. So I'll use track for instance. When you're running track and you're running age group track, they have heats based off of what time you run. So if we're talking about the 100 meters, if you run like within 12-1 to 13 flat,
Heat 3,
right? Then you got your 11 flat to 12 flat, Heat 2, right? Then everybody faster than that, you could go 9-9,
If you're under 11,
you're in this heat, right? Instagram doesn't have heats. You're sitting there competing with the best rappers in the world as a regular guy.
Yeah.
You know, like I seen girls posting memes like Drake had dinner at Dodger Stadium. What are you doing for me? Wow. Really? You're gonna put me there?
Really?
That's what you're gonna do? We're talking about the biggest rapper possibly of all time.
Right.
And you're gonna say that he's having dinner at Dodger Stadium and rented out Dodger Stadium.
So you're saying this says unrealistic expectations?
Ruth Chris is no longer good enough for you.
Hey, how about this one? People say things like, man, Drake bought out Dodger Stadium and I can't even get a sandwich. Things like that, right? Like, yo, not the same thing.
It's not the same thing. We're
Not the
different
same
heat.
thing.
Apples and oranges.
Yeah, not the same thing,
Nah.
yo. Like, don't do that.
Don't do that. But you know what? And it's tough for them not to do that, being fair, because we can only base things off of what we see.
Yeah.
Once you make something possible to somebody, it's real life. Once you make something possible, we didn't know that renting out Dodger Stadium for dinner was possible.
Now it becomes probable all the
Hey,
time.
yo, but I don't look at, okay, so I don't think men do this, though. I don't think men look at other women and other people dating and say, yo, to their girls, yo, why aren't you doing this?
No,
I don't think men do
We
that.
don't, but we
Men
look at
never
other women and be like, dang, why my girl don't look like that? Or why she don't got that?
Do we?
And no.
I think it's more
let's
so
not
of
say-
a women thing.
Do we
though.
do that?
I think
Let's
it's more
be
so
fair.
women
Let's
asking,
be-
what did your nigga do
let's
for
be-
you?
I'm not saying you do that. I'm not saying you do that. I'm not saying I do that. But men will look at social media and they'll look at their girl and be like, this girl looks better than my girl, cause this girl could have got lip injections, BBLs, you know, had the financial opportunities to get her breast done. Not saying that's bad or anything like that, but we now start basing what our lifestyle is off of somebody else's. That's all I'm saying. We looking at other people's lifestyle and basing ours off of what they're doing and what they can actually attain. You know, it's a difference between being able to afford something and acquire something. And most of us live in the acquire space rather than I can actually afford this. And that's where the issue kind of like lives, because we see other people can possibly afford it and we'd be like, oh, because I can acquire it, I can have that too. No, you can't. You can't have that. You're paying $1,200 a month for a car note?
So they say the only true way to truly afford something is if you could afford it twice, right? So you're saying if you could acquire something, you definitely can't afford it twice. And that's kind of the space that a lot of us kind of operate in, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, we'll say it like this then, right? If a woman is the one, you feel like that in your heart, Duke, I'm going to ask you, what are some ways to like be able to successfully date if you don't necessarily got the finances you want?
Listen. He just said, just because you can acquire it don't mean you can afford it. So just because you can acquire dating don't mean you can afford dating. All right. So I would say don't date if you're not financially stable. I would say focus on you, King. I would say respectfully, focus on you, King. Anything else, the women, they'll come. Focus on your career, focus on stacking, focus on getting money. And I know that, you know, it sounds alarming to certain people, but like it's true. Like just like, hey yo, my mom told me when I was young, hey yo, don't worry about the girls right now. Right, just focus on school. You know, focus on football. Just do your thing. Anything else you want in life will come.
That right now, Duke was 16 years old. Nobody listening to this podcast is 16 years old, fam.
I'm just saying some lessons some lessons apply forever.
Hey, you know, seasons exist regardless.
You know,
Some seasons are building seasons. Some seasons are championship seasons. What Duke is saying, you're not in the championship season, King. If the championship is the woman that you're going to choose, you're not there. You got to build.
Hey, you know what I'm going to say? Don't lose out on the one you feel like is the one. Build that credit, King.
I feel the same thing. Hey, you know what? Hey, to Omar's point,
Build that credit, King.
run it up.
hey,
Run
so
it
he
up.
said, hey, get your credit and you got wiggle room.
You got wiggle room. Build that credit, you got some wiggle room, bro.
Before we get out of here, I got a question.
Yo.
Right? If you feel like in your heart your woman is the one, right? Matter of fact, I'm just gonna ask you guys both black and white question. Is your woman special enough to you to zero your bank account today?
To zero? My bad.
Zero your bank account today. You feel like she's special enough, you'll get it back. So do you feel like she's special enough
for emergencies?
It's an emergency.
It has
It's
to be an emergency. It
dire
can't be a luxury,
straits.
not a luxury.
Not a luxury. Come on now. I'm not
Yeah.
saying get that Chanel back for Chanel.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's dire straits.
Yeah, emergency, absolutely.
Mine too.
We'll get it back.
No question about it.
We'll get it
We'll
back.
get it
I'll
back.
keep my woman and I'll get it back.
You know the good thing about getting it is you learn how
You
to
learn
get
how
it.
to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
You learn how to get it. So if you ever have to start back from ground zero, it may not be what you want, and
Yeah.
it may be a long way back up the ladder, but you know the route.
It ain't the same zero.
It ain't the same zero. I got way much more experience, way much more game, and I'm so much more prepared for the moment.
That's funny. Hey, actually, that reminded me with that question, right? If you have a girlfriend and you're struggling, don't break up with her. I'm not saying break up with her so you can pursue your passion.
Don't do that.
No, it's too late.
Don't be boo-boo.
I'm not saying
Don't be
that.
boo-boo.
I'm just
Don't be
saying,
boo-boo.
I'm just saying if you're single or in that space and you're dating and you're struggling, just think about like holding off on the dating to focus on things that are going to serve you better in the future. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But yo, check this out. We are going to wrap up now, man. Thank you guys for watching and listening. All right. Thank you for supporting us. If you are watching this right now, screenshot the phone or take a picture of the TV or whatever you're watching, post it in your story, tag us so we can repost and so we can shout you out the next episode. Make sure you subscribe to all of our channels. Nice and Neat the Podcast on YouTube, of course. Nice and Neat the Podcast on Apple Podcasts, and Nice and Neat the Podcast on Spotify. All right, let us know how you felt about the show. Leave some feedback. Make sure you're following Jalon, Just Jalon, Omar.Bowden, and myself at Duke. And that's it. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon, and that's that on that. Peace.
Peace.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old and I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds, pledge allegiance I stand.